This is my audience before I do my speech. Hi, my name is Michaela Carnley. I am a sophomore student at Royal ISD, and the hobby I chose to do for my speech is band. Band. Band is a group of people who come together to create music. There's marching band, concert band, and jazz band. Marching band includes woodwinds, brass, battery, and the pit. Marching band is typically something you would see during a football game, a parade, or just any performance that deals with marching. Concert band. Concert band includes woodwinds, brass, and the percussion. Concert band is typically something you would see in an auditorium. You could see them at an orchestra, and they are very high-end performances usually. Then there is jazz band. Jazz band includes brass, bass guitars, auxiliary, and keyboard percussion. Jazz band is something you would typically think of when you remind yourself of New Orleans or Black history. The percussion family. The percussion is what means the most to me because I am in percussion and this is what my hobby mainly is about. The percussion family includes the battery. The battery is the snare, which is the one you see with sticks in the parades and stuff. Then there is chest tenors, which is people kind of think of it as a little bass drum where they go like this and it's very very tiny and it fits right here. Then there is tenors, which is usually 4 to 6 drums, which they're all playing all kinds of music and villains. Then there is bass drum, which, as I said, is just a really big drum that you hit with 2 mallets. Then there is cymbals. Cymbals is a very loud, crashing instrument, which is the one I play. But then there is the keyboard percussion. The keyboard percussion isn't typically used in marching band, but it's usually used for UIL competitions and concert and jazz band. There's xylophone, marimba, vibraphone, and glockenspiel. Vibraphone is the one I play. These are quite quiet instruments compared to the battery. Then there is auxiliary. Auxiliary contains tambourines, congas, triangles, instruments like that. They really just add that last touch to the band you need. Battery is the one who keeps tempo mainly, as all of these keep tempo. Battery is the loudest, so it's the one that keeps the tempo the most. Then there is keyboard, which is quiet and chill. Auxiliary is that one that creates the last touch, as I said. Here are the instruments I just listed. Here is snare, the chest tenor, the tenors, the bass drum, the cymbals, the one I play, as well as the vibraphone, the marimba, the glockenspiel, the xylophone, and the tambourine, congas, and triangles. The cymbals. Cymbals are a very creative instrument. Although cymbals are primarily used to make eccentric crashes in the music, it's also used as visual. But the music it makes is there are 4 different ways of playing cymbals. There is a hi hat, which is basically just crash, then close. Then there is a regular crash, which is just crash and you let it ring out. And then there is a choke, which you close, and then it doesn't make any noise after that. And then there is a sizzle, which you're just rubbing them together. Although they also make all those noises, they can do many twirls and tricks. You could fly your hands up into the air and show them off to the other bands and other people, and it certainly creates an eye-catching visual to the band. The keyboard percussion. Although there is multiple types of keyboards, they all pretty much work very similar. Almost like a piano, the notes go from A to G. There are sharp, flat, and natural notes. A sharp has very high-pitched noises. You can hear them very much in the band. Flat is a low-pitched tone, and natural notes is somewhere in between. Some of them are made of wood, and some of them are made of metal. Metal will ring while wood does not. Challenges and skills that are in band. In band, there are many challenges such learning new music, keeping up with tempo, memorizing music and drills, and multitasking. Learning new music can be a challenge because it's very new. As many of us cannot sight read in band, it's very hard to learn music from the spot. And keeping up with tempo is something that many of us rely on percussion for, and we just try our best. Memorizing music and drills can also be hard because there is many notes and measures and all kinds of things that we have to keep track of. And then there's multitasking because as you're playing your instrument, you also have to be counting and making sure you're with the tempo. There's also a lot of skills you need as well, such as interpreting music. There's quarter notes, dotted half notes, all kinds of notes that you have to know as a person in band. There's also active listening. You have to be listening to your director. You gotta be listening for that whistle from the drum major. And then there is memory. Memory is something you need as well as it is a challenge. In conclusion, band is a hobby that requires a lot of work. And percussion, specifically as my hobby, it's a very creative section. It has a large variety of instruments, and it's what I enjoy. Thank you for listening.